Hello out there in TV land. Welcome to the Final Fantasy Randomizer Winter Dab Tournament reveal stream and opening match of the tournament itself. I'm your host, DarkMoonEX, joined in the booth by Danny3883. Danny, how's it going over there?
Going really well, excited. This is our first bingo tournament of any sort, so been looking forward to this. I know a lot of people have been wanting to do this for a long time, so it's really exciting that we're finally doing it, and we're starting it. It's gonna be fun.
Yep, bingo is one of those formats that hasn't traditionally been a part of Final Fantasy. Not that you can't make bingo work, obviously we're going to, because we've got a whole bingo stream going right here. But it's not something that's been traditionally associated with this. But over the last, I'd say 6 months or so, we got the boards going. We started testing for this. We started allowing these kinds of matches in our Iron Doll and so forth. I know Caleb, who's one of our 2 players today, has gone a whole hog on bingo over the course of the last 6 months or so. And now we finally get to bring it all together with the tournament we've been wanting to do for, I'd say, a year and a half now, Danny?
At least a year. It's been talked about a lot, so it's nice that we finally have time in the schedule and we're able to get it in and can do it. Because like you said, I know a lot of people like playing it and have been really excited about it.
Yeah, absolutely. So what we got going on today, as you can see from the board, we have bingo. Actual bingo. The flags we're going to go over in a little bit, but before we get into this is our reveal stream for the tournament. So we wanted to try and touch on just a little about what to expect player-wise from the DAB tournament to come. And for that, let us pull up the brackets. Voila. So you'll see what we have right here. We're just showing off right now the top round, the winners bracket of the tournament. This is actually a winners and a losers bracket, so I can show you here. Well, although not populated right now, we will have a losers round going on right now. So every player is going to get at least 2 chances to play, 2 games to play, I should say, because we will have the winners and losers, and it is just for right now a best of 1, at least up until near the end of the tournament. So, the pairings that we have, obviously you see Greg and Caleb, who both actually got a bye, and they're the only 2 players that have to face off against each other from their byes, as opposed to all the other byes getting to play one of the people from who wins the previous week. So they decided to kick off for us so that they can get on with this, and I think Greg's actually out of town next week, so when his game would normally happen. So that's a good way to do it. I think this, honestly, Danny, this is going to be one of our really solid matchups for this right here. Greg is a great player, and I think, as you can kind of see underneath, I think they had black belts available to him. Greg is the master of the black belt, but if anyone can be the master of bingo in our community right now, I believe that would be Caleb.
Yeah, both these guys are great runners, and Caleb, I know, has done a lot of bingo. I know Greg's been practicing bingo. It's well matched, and it's gonna be a lot of fun. And I'm really excited this gets to be our first race.
Heck yes! And we also have other really solid players. We populated this bracket based on our weekly races performance. So a lot of the top players you see right here, Greg and Caleb included, get a first round bye based on the number of players that we had. Sir Lancelot, Fryteeth, DVS, Burt Reynolds, Lord Fizzlebeef, Luffy, and Deadpulse, all fantastic runners who have been participating in our weeklies and managed to put, really strong performances out there to get themselves their first round buys. And you can see Sir Lancelot in chat be like, that's me! He got number 1 positioning right there. So he is actually going to get to face off against the winner of the race again between Zenobian and myself. And Danny, I don't want to put odds on this for anyone, but I'd be laying to bet some decent money that I am not going to win that matchup.
I mean, come on. There's a chance.
Sure, there's a chance. Zenobian is.
I will say, I did get a little tickled when I saw that the 3 main people who put this tournament together, Zenobian and Sir Lancelot, all got paired together in the brackets.
Yeah, that was going to be my next point of order right there. I was just mentioning that Zenobian has been the one wanting to do Winter Dab for a while. He roped me in. We got Sir Lancelot looped in as well. So the 3 of us together.
It's the Dab Committee showdown on top of the bracket. It's great.
It's fantastic. Below that, you'll see we have Scheidel against Phoenix. That is, I believe, Nightmare Phoenix. They're both newer players, although Jay Scheidel's been around. I think he was from the previous Duck Derby that we had. So he's a solid player. I think just got himself promoted to Platypus this last time. Nightmare, meanwhile, put like a good performance into the Derby this last year. I believe they're going to be participating in the next Derby we have come this summertime, but they've shown a lot of improvement, and that could be a really nice matchup right there.
Yeah, Phoenix actually in chat was correcting. Yes,
still good performance.
Much like our shadows, we have a couple of
God,
Phoenixes.
We do. Both of them have put in great performance, though. Don't let anything that I just said not apply to you as well. I watched both of you guys on the rankings. You did really well. So, I see as I quickly try and dig myself back out there.
It's fine. I'll take your shovel.
There you go. We're good. Demon Frog versus Dwight. There's a couple of... Well, Dwight's newer than Demon Frog, but I think at this point we'd consider them both seasoned pros at this point.
Oh, absolutely. They've been around running the game for a while, and both really, really good players.
Yeah, and they're going to be facing off against DVS, so it's the 3 Ds right there, one way or another. Dwight and DVS both serving with me actually on a co-op Double Dragon team right there, so seeing the two of them potentially having to go at it after this, that's an interesting set of matches right there. We have Wildham versus the Hangry Canuck. I know Hangry has been doing a lot of dab lately. Wildham, meanwhile, is one of our devs and has inside knowledge of the randomizer itself. Danny,
yeah, Canuck's been around for a good while. He's definitely a veteran runner. He's really good. Wildham, like you said, one of our devs has done an insane amount of work and some of like our really awesome new flags and stuff here recently.
Yep.
But also a really good runner who's put up like incredibly good times, does a lot of the hardcore stuff on the weekends.
Yeah. And he's been doing really solid performance in the hardcore matches too. It's like every other week it seems like he's first or second, has to make new flags, and then, makes new flags for it.
I've never done a hardcore race, but I'm not gonna lie, I kind of love it when Wildham gets second, does the flags, because he always comes up with something fun.
Something fun, and usually involves him programming something new for the randomizer at the same time. It's a win-win, really.
It really is.
J-Man versus Druith is another one of our duckling pairings right there. Both of them did really solid work in the Derby. I think J-Man's actually been around for a couple of derbies so far. Drew is a new name for the community, if I'm not mistaken.
Indeed.
And we also have Shaun Z versus Rojo. There's a similar pairing there for J-Man and Druith. Shaun is new, and I think he actually goes by the name Zero Cool sometimes. Rojo has been around since at least the previous derby. Seasoned player at this point. I think in both cases, I'm not going to be picking sides here, but I'm looking forward to seeing what the Ducks do against the players that have been here just a little bit longer. And finally, we have Chanigan, another one of our Duckling players, going up against an old hat with Sonny Wrath 11 right there. Sonny took some time off from the community a little while back there after Fall League, has come back and is making his debut once again here in Winter Dab. Whoever wins that matchup has to go up against Deadpulse, our winner from the Duck Derby. And I gotta tell you, Danny, I would not want to be in that bracket one way or another.
No, not really.
No.
Although Chanigan is someone who is really new. Came in during this last Duck Derby boot camp and got really good really quick. He's definitely on my list of ducks I don't want to see come spring tournament, because there's a decent sized list of ducks that I am terrified of, and he's one of them.
Yeah, it's a thing. Like, I've been practicing some, and I have a feeling I would have like better improvement come this next spring tournament. However, we've trained 2 sets of ducks since then, and I have a feeling that even with my improved skills, those ducks are gonna fly right past me. And I'll be like, wow, my performance got worse this time around. Okay.
It's fine. The way I look at it, the sooner I'm out, the more time I'll have to do, like, race crew busybody stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's our brackets for right now. That's going to be our first and second rounds right there. The brackets, if you're interested in following along, we got the link on the Randomizer community in our FFR DAB channel. You can find the community over on FinalFantasyRandomizer.com, along with links to the development Discord, and of course the game itself if you're interested in playing. And you can also find the brackets on Challenge under FFR DAB 2021. So multiple ways for you to find us and keep up with everything that's going to be happening in this tournament. Danny, if you want, we can release the players, and I believe you're the one gatekeeping at this point.
I am. I will let them go now. Just letting them know because they've been waiting on us. They want to just drop it and not say anything.
No, totally. Do your quick check-in. So you can see right here from the bingo board, while Danny gets things set up behind the scenes, we have our slots chosen for this. If you're not familiar with what DAB means, this is bingo, but you're not going to be making just one bingo. You got to do double anti-bingo. And that means the double is you have to do 2 lines. The anti is you choose one of those lines up front that the other player has to do. So you can see from the board right here, Greg, who is in green, has to fill row 4. He can fill any other row or column or diagonal he wants along with that. He can pick that on the fly as the game plays out. But he has to do row 4. That's the one that's been chosen for him by Caleb. Caleb, meanwhile, has to do column 1. That is the one that he is forced to do. Now, some of the things for you to pay attention to right now, they do have free bridge and they have free orbs. So they can go into the Temple of Fiends anytime they want. They are not, however, allowed to defeat Chaos before they have taken care of their 2 rows. So you can go as far into the game as you want, any direction you want, play it however you want to fill in your tiles, but you're not allowed to fight Chaos until the bitter end. But if there are certain things that you need to find, enemies you need to kill, skills or spells you need to see, you can go and find them in the Temple of Fiends and do it that way. There's our full explanation for it.
And let the gate go here just as I say. So we should be seeing our runners on.
Greg immediately going to the king, picking up the loot. Doesn't have multi-instrumentalist Sarah turned on. Boo. Meanwhile, Clarb walks his way backwards towards the White Magic Shop, finds Harm 4 and Exit, and pairs that up with Brack and Slow 2. That's pretty much our magic for the first round. So because Caleb has column row set up, he has to collect a wood, an iron, and a steel armor and have them in his inventory when he defeats Chaos. He's got to talk to 5 mermaids on the mermaid floor. He's got to defeat Tiamat 1, although with the way the tile is set up, he can do that any way he wants. He's got to defeat Lich with Quake specifically, and he's got to successfully cure a status ailment in battle with White Magic. He can do that any way he wants, so long as he has a spell, that will do it. Meanwhile, Greg needs to defeat Lich with Quake, just like Caleb does. He cannot talk to any hit NPCs, which, knowing Greg, he kind of forgets they exist half the time. Might not be the hardest tile for him to do. He's got to hit level 30 on at least 1 character, which he's got a black belt, was probably going to happen anyway. Defeat Tiamat specifically with Bane, not Brack, but Bane, and talk to the Ray Dwarf. I don't know, Danny, between you and me, I kind of feel like Greg has the easier forced line than Caleb does.
Possibly, because, well, I know you said it's easy to not do the hit NPCs, but Greg's been playing with that flag a lot. I know he likes it, so he's probably not too happy about that. And, I mean, talking to the Hooray Dwarf, unless you're playing this game wrong, you already talked to the Hooray Dwarf. Yeah. That's a pretty easy one to just,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of these don't feel too bad based on where Greg is normally at for his playstyle and what he does. If he does accidentally screw up, for instance, and talk to a hint NPC, or if, like, Caleb used exit when he's trying to fill in the line that says don't use exit, as an example, the players are supposed to take a 2-minute penalty, so we will see them pause their game, set their controller down, and wait 2 minutes before coming back and continuing play. That's how we cover for that.
A question in chat asking why Caleb has Exit's party members. One of the fun things you can do with the randomizer here is like you can do different sprites. A lot of different members have everything from Caleb and his eggs to different, like I know one of my fighter sprite is a Gundam.
Yep.
So, like, you can create a bunch of different ones. Caleb's is actually a really cute story of him teaching his niece and nephews how to play, and they named Maya, Egg 2, and Egg 3 are the names that they gave his characters when he was teaching them, which he kept, and then had a community member that helped him make egg sprites for it.
It is a cool story. Yeah.
Yeah, it's real cute. So, but yeah, there's a lot of different people who have run different sprites and stuff in the game.
So with the defeat of Vicky, we have the key from the pirates. We also saw not a whole heck of a lot over at the White Magic shop. Do have Crown here at the item shop, which is going to be useful for them later when they decide to go fight Astos, whenever they decide to do that. And then we had at the Black Magic shop, Temper, Saber, and Ice 3, which is a nicely loaded shop. And something else you might have seen Greg do, although I didn't check what class was there, we do have the taverns turned on so you can hire party members, which is quite useful in the long run because some of the requirements you will see for these characters, like take 0 or 4 red mages, for example, those only actually apply when you defeat Chaos. So you could have a party of like 3 red mages that doesn't meet that match, but you only have to get rid of them when you go to fight Chaos at the end. So Caleb is taking a little time trying to get this Garland fight down. I'm not sure exactly. I thought I saw him defeat him once, but they're not dead right now, and I'm not sure what's going on there, unfortunately, for Clarb. But Greg is off and running right now with his party, just rocking him, socking him his way through Garland and through the pirates, and gonna see what other treasures he has.
Greg skipped Garland.
Oh,
Greg
did he?
Went straight to, yeah, he went straight to Provoca.
That explains that then. Well, he's got Ice 3 now. I think he probably has the magic to be able to take care of it.
I think what is we've got a Garland boxing square, so I think Caleb's going for that. Because I mean, we had bracket level 1, like we could have gotten through Garland a lot easier than punching him in the face.
Yeah, well, that's if you want that square. I mean, it's probable that you're right. They're both going to try for it, but that's one of those ones where you're sitting there going, man, this is taking forever. I don't know about this. That's a lot of health to try and wear down on Garland, honestly, because Garland can roll up a decent amount, if I'm not mistaken, in these flags.
I mean, you could always, and I think maybe if Greg's going to click that, the plan might be just come back later once you're able to, punch him a little easier.
Yeah.
But, I mean, that could possibly mean you're not getting progression right away because you're not getting whatever Sarah has, which could be an issue depending on what it is. So, I mean, either way, it can be a bit of a risk. Like, punching him now is a time-consuming play. Skipping him and doing it later is a potentially risky play.
Bold move from Greg, I want to point out. He decided to hire himself a thief over top of his black belt. Now, admittedly, he's probably going to be able to find a black belt later. Not going to be the end of the world. But it's an interesting play insofar as normally he's a black belt guy. You wouldn't expect him to get rid of that. Meanwhile, where did we get that chime from?
Canary Loft.
Nice. Okay, yeah, that key already paying dividends.
Oh, that's unfortunate. He was on that fight for a while, and then he got iced 2 by Garland.
Yeah, that's a risk right there with that. That's putting him behind, as Crabcakes in chat notes, by about, 5 minutes or so? So, yeah. That's rough. Meanwhile, Greg now has the crown and is trucking on along some more. We will more than likely see him make his way over to Dwarf Cave. I would expect he's going to check the key locks over there because it's along the path. So.
Okay, we're gonna get a look at white magic. Okay, well, we've got Ruse, which is really good.
I mean, it is nice. That's probably the best spell that was there.
I mean, if you want to get Lamp for the lulz, sure. But otherwise, like, Ruse is about the only thing you really need out of white magic. Ice 3 and Temper, 2 in black is really good.
Yeah.
Especially because we didn't have an AoE level 1.
Yep.
Black magic. I mean, we got harm 4, but I mean, that's really only good for your undeads.
Thing is, though, Lamp actually in this particular setup is not just for the lulls. If I'm not mistaken, don't we have improved cures on? So Lamp actually, I think, cures other status ailments.
See, I'm not, like, I know there's these things on the bingo, but like, I'm not used to it because honestly, it's like, it's fun to watch, and I've watched quite a bit, but I've never actually played bingo.
Yeah.
But yeah, as you pointed out and being pointed out in chat, I was wrong.
Oh, it's okay.
Oh, it's fine. I'm used to being wrong. When it comes to this game, I normally just assume that I'm wrong about something, and then I'm pleasantly surprised if I'm right.
There you go. But yes, no, Lamp can help cure status ailments, specifically that dark. I am double checking the website though to double check the flags, see what else we might have turned on for this. Just to make sure that there's not something that we're still expecting to see right there. And Improved Cure is on, so like Lamp and Amute can actually help cure more status effects than they were initially designed for. Very useful. So Greg does pop by a dwarf, but only briefly, so he can talk to the Hooray Dwarf, and then he moves on. Probably, well, he has exit, but if he wants to make sure he gets the don't use exit, which he still has green right now, he may not want to do the long treasure walk, despite the fact that I'm going and taking out. Oh, I can see why he took the thief. The blessing on the thief for this set gave them black magic early on, so he's using that Ice 3 to his advantage, and gets the canoe. Anyone hoping for Gregley's famous walking tour of the Circle C, now is your chance.
A little bit. The Gregley Puff historical tour is quite the journey.
It is. It is. Going in here, we're going to check and see what we have, probably both on the treasures and the tiles. Gets an ice sword. And some nachos. And decides that's not quite right. Going back in, though. Yeah, not going to be able to take these out easy with that ice. And trying the nachos again. We're going to see if he can get good turn order this time. Acceptable turn order. 3 ice 3s to kill him is a little much, but does get some quick early levels, and he's already level 10 now. That's nice. That's acceptable. And I think he's going in to do it again. Meanwhile, Caleb has taken another attempt here to punch down Garland, and I think he just muted him. I think it said that. I went very quick. I'm not sure if he missed it, but he's also tempering the black belt to try and get more damage out. Because, yeah, you can only kill Garland through punches, but it doesn't say how strong those punches have to be.
Yeah, he did. He muted Garland, and now with that temper, like, even at the super low level of this, hey, we got it.
We got it.
Like,
took care of that.
He was doing decent enough damage on Garland to get through that.
Yep. Well done. And now we're going to see what the princess has. Oh, it's the kazoo is our multi-instrumentalist. That's nice. And the ship. So while Greg is going to be doing his walking tour, Caleb gets to sail around.
Okay. I mean, it feels a little bad that he left his boat. However, if anybody was going to do the historical tour, just canoeing around,
it's got to be Greg. Yeah.
It's 100%.
Yeah.
Named after him, after all.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, it's absolutely named after him. It is his walking tour. He's got to be the one to do it. Now, this, however, does actually give Caleb a little bit of evening up right now. We're not sure how long it's going to take for Mr. Puff and stuff to go and actually get that ship. He could take a while to do it, especially since he got rid of his black belt. So there's every possibility that Greg does a full lap of the the world before he decides to come back and get that ship. Caleb, meanwhile, having that ship, can go and journey out to some other areas and start exploring some stuff Greg Lee hasn't yet. Could give him the advantage, or at least balance out that 5-minute loss he had from that first Garland death.
Yeah, and with Marsh not incentivized in these flags, like you have like we have no reason to go there.
Yeah,
it's not an incentive check. So basically, Greg's options right now, unless he wants to go back and punch a Garland.
Yep.
For that, or just not use that flag. His best, like he's gonna probably go to Alpha and check magic, and then canoe to Crescent and see what the incentive there is, hoping that it's either his boat or his floater or something that gets him progression.
Yeah. Yeah, Greg could be on this for a little while before he finally gets his yacht. Let's put it that way.
Also, Greg finding out that the overworld is not kind right now.
Hopefully he saved after all those nacho kills.
He did. He came out and saved, and then, I don't know if it was the ogres or growers, so one of them had glare.
Okay.
And
which at his levels.
Yeah. Yeah.
But he's got a good chunk of money. He's got plenty to buy these spells, like that Lit 3 he's found there at level 3. He got himself a nice chunk of levels right there to be able to come out and continue his exploration.
Yeah, and good to see, especially when it's a box on here that like Quake was a low level. They're at 3.
Mm-hmm. Did also find Life 2 at slot 4. He's not gonna be able to get that right now, but if he finds a white mage or if he decides to promote at some point, then that Life 2 is gonna be a whole lot more accessible to him.
No, unfortunately, that Life 2 actually he cannot learn without a white mage. It's slot 4. It's even promoted. That Life 2 is white mage locked.
I thought slot 4 was promotable. Slot 2 was. Oh, slot 2 was.
It is level 4. It is slot 4 is learnable, but in level 3, the red mage or the red wizard, neither one can learn slot 4 at level 3.
See, and I have been doing it wrong this whole time. Ah, what a joy.
Shout out to the handy little chart that Fizzle gave me a long time ago that helps with that and spells that during co-op 2019. Who every time I was like, is this a spell I can learn during co-op races? Otherwise, I would never know either of them either. Okay, Caleb getting the TNT out of the Earth incentive. We don't have Rod, so we can't finish it. However, we gotta work when we gotta exit. Yep. We're getting out.
Yeah, we're getting out. Caleb has no problems with that. He before he even left Canaria, he'd already unchecked don't use exit because he 100% planned to use exit. So that's he has an easy time getting in and out of there. And there's a solid chance that TNT is going to turn into the Rod. Because that's just how this game works.
Also, we saw at level 4 life in slot 1, so the red mage cannot learn life 2, but it can learn life, and it's not in a promotion lock spot, so he can go ahead and have life on that red mage as soon as he can afford it.
No canoe, Caleb. You gotta go do some other quest chains that we have. Fire 3, that's a lot of nice AoE magic going on here too. So, they're not hurting for a variety of elemental spells to cast and other ways to take out these fiends. That's nice to see. One thing we haven't seen yet or two things, honestly, that we haven't seen yet that we know Greg is going to need. I don't believe we've seen Quake yet, and we haven't seen Bane yet either.
Haven't seen Bane. Quake was level 3.
Was it? Okay, I missed that. Perfect.
Oh, okay, that's a little trolly. You have to go into Earth to get the TNT, and the TNT turns into the Rod.
Called it! That's a forced double dip right there. Thanks, game!
Thanks. Yeah, thanks, Narek, for misplacing it in the wrong place.
And people in chat are also talking about the dab sprites we have there at the bottom of the layout for our winter dab event. If you're interested in using those, we do have them available on our Discord. for you to emote with as you hang out in our community.
Okay, I'm not sure if you cut out for everybody, but you cut out a little bit for me. So I heard if you're interested in using them, and then you cut out a little.
Well, I'm sure probably the rest of them it worked out just fine because of the way that I'm streaming out.
If not, join the Discord.
Join the Discord. That's the important point that we were trying to make.
Yep.
Fade at level 6, which I don't think either of them are going to try and take right now, and Nuke. So without seeing Bane, we've got level 5, 7, and 8 that it could still be a possibility for. And, you know, Greg's really hoping Bane is level 5. But gets the herb so he can continue his historical tour. This is what we want to see. We want to see him do a couple laps, don't we?
Oh, maybe a little bit.
Maybe a little bit, yeah.
It's gonna feel like robot, like after he gets a boat, and like after we like, so how'd that boat feel?
Yeah, he's gonna be just a little miffed, I think, at that point. I mean, the way that this works out for him is if somehow one of the turn-ins he still has available to himself becomes the floater, then that advantage goes back to Greg. So we shall see. And here you go with the turn-in while Caleb is doing his level 3 and level 4 purchases. Turns in the herb for Gurg. And that becomes the Oxyale. That is no help to him right now, and he rejects it. Come back for it later, continuing his tour of the Light World.
That was a pretty head.
That was.
Up play, like saving there. That way, if it's not progression, not what he needed, all he has to do is just set out quickly and then head north.
That was solid. And the Kareebs are like, everyone attacks us with lightning. We're going to do it this time. So definitely think he's heading over to Ice Cave to check the incentive over there. Still praying it's his ship or the floater.
We do have 2 incentivized locations over here. We have ice and we have volcano. Given, levels and stuff, you're not going to want to do volcano unless you can get down that far and take out carry, and I don't think that's an option currently. It would be real risky. So, yeah, I was going to say, definitely think he's headed for ice, and there we go. We're headed to ice.
And I think he can handle most of what's in the volcano area. He's got 4 casters with Ice 3 and plenty of charges. I don't think that's a concern. It's just carry.
Yeah. Like getting through ice and getting getting through volcano and getting the incentive, I think he'd be fine.
Yeah.
It's like you said, it's just, you're not really going to want to do all of volcano and then get all the way down there and not be able to do carry.
Yeah.
Anytime you have to double dip a dungeon, it feels real bad. And although Greg doesn't know this yet, we're already double dipping Earth. Like, you're not going to want to have to do that twice.
Yeah. That's going to be an utter joy for him when he gets there, too. Delayed ship followed by double dip Earth. Oh, such fun. But Caleb, meanwhile, has his own things that's been going on with him. He hasn't gone and done the crown chain yet from Provoca, so he hasn't picked up the canoe yet, which is certainly delaying him in certain respects. Oh, and there's Greg doing his full lap of Ice Floor 2.
Whether he meant it to or not, suddenly Greg's doing laps around everything.
Sir Linkalot raises a very valuable point that I hadn't thought about. It's a forced double dip of Earth if you want to clear the bottom of Earth, but you don't need to because the Earth orb is already pre-lit.
Oh yeah, see, I told you.
So instead, that rod is just entirely useless. Thanks! Which may also be the reason why Greg reset out of the Oxyale. He doesn't care about it. Now, that's an item that I'm sure Caleb is going to get, because he needs to talk to 5 mermaids. That's an essential one for him. But if Gregory doesn't want to talk to the 5 mermaids, there's no reason for him to keep that Oxyale.
True, and with the D is not incentivized, so there's nothing there like he needs to go there for.
Yeah. Yeah, the Earth incentive leading to the thing that would get you past the Earth incentive feels like a bit of a womp. Yeah, that's actually kind of rude with free orbs on. Now, free orbs is a flag that I'm not honestly used to. Like, we use it for Chaos Rush, but I'm not used to just having it on for non-Chaos Rush flag sets. So, you know, takes a little bit of a ramp up to get your mind.
Yeah, that's exactly why I'm sitting here talking, sounding like a dum-dum.
And yeah, there's Caleb keeping that Oxyale because he actually cares about that. Now, one nice thing here about the setup that Greg has is he can get all the levels he wants with his spellcaster, and it's not a big deal, because at any point he can switch it back to a black belt or whatever else he wants, anytime he wants. He's not limited right now in how this party goes, because with Tavern Mode on, there's going to be a black belt floating out there somewhere. He is going and checking some of these floors here, though. Gonna see what's down here. Gonna grab some of these treasures.
Yeah. It's like you're gonna maybe want to look for like a ribbon would be nice. Yep. Any kind of weapons or gear.
Yeah, a little bit of spare gear. Even with a black belt, if that's what you're gonna use long run, there's some certain items you want for your other mages that would help out.
Yeah. That, and with his party, he's gonna have to walk through this twice because while we did have exit at level 1, it was white mage locked. So without warp or without warp or exit, he's not able to like shortcut this dungeon at all.
Yeah, and that's purposeful on his part, bear in mind, because he's still trying to keep that don't use exit tile lit right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it helps when you can't even learn it.
Although I would not be surprised long term if he went with hit level 30 on that one character, because he has to take that one every and pairs that up with Garland Boxing, and like goes with the center column along with his forced throw. That seems to make the most sense to me for what he's going to do for his setup. Gets a ribbon for his trouble. Well, that was nice. It's like the game hurt us, Danny.
I swear sometimes it does.
I know, right? So Clarb is already over here checking out the Oxyale area.
Oh. Okay, well, getting the slab there feels bad.
Yeah, he has to know at this point that there's very little he can do other than go and punch Garland. There's nothing else on the table.
Well, he's got the volcano incentive.
Oh, you're right, thank you.
So he can do that.
And he probably will.
But, yeah.
Yeah. But you are right. Oh, R-Bones. I hate R-Bones, and this is the reason why. Of course, they're going to get to go over and over again.
Now, and the worst thing is, I'm gonna assume, okay, well, if we can just get out with that red mage, because life was level 4, but I don't know, does he have it?
He does have it.
Okay, he got it. I wasn't 100% sure if he actually had the money to get it at the time.
Yeah, he's got it. He's set. Lost his stream for a second there, but he's back, and yeah, he cast it onto his party members and he's healed them up, and he's desperately hoping those lucky R-Bones don't show up again.
Love Caleb's egg sprites.
So we got a question. about how come Greg has take 0 or 4 red mages lit if he can only get a black or a white mage at the tavern. I don't believe they're limited to only black or white mages at the tavern. Let me double check that though. Let me see what they have in tavern mode, lit up and ready to roll. All party members are lit for potentially being in the bingo, in the setup. So it's more a matter of what his end game is going to be. He might not have had the red mage at the start, or if he did, and I can't honestly remember, he might be aiming long term just to get rid of the red mage. But that, again, is something we're going to see right now. It is accidentally lit, but it's also not a huge deal if that's not one of his 2 lines that he's committed to. So that's one that we will play by ear, and if he acts like that's actually a line that matters, we'll make sure that he unlights it or something else.
And Caleb headed to sea to talk to some mermaids. It's the politest way to say it because they disappear when you do.
Yeah, annihilate some mermaids quite rudely. Yeah.
Just a little mermaid murder on your Friday afternoon. It's
What's
fine.
a little mermaid murder between friends, right? Yeah.
But also found the power gauntlet. I think it's a +5 in mermaids, which is really good.
Now we are going to see. Oh, that does remind me. Never mind. The rod is required for both of our players, even though we said it wasn't. They both have to kill Lich. Row 4 and column 1 both have defeat Lich with Quake. So they both do have to go kill Lich, so that rod is absolutely required.
So with that, does it have to be Lich 1 or can it be Lich 2 also?
In theory, you could do it to Lich 2, and yes, Quake does work, but I think the magic defense on Lich 2 is a little better, that Quake, Lich 1 is the safer option.
Yeah.
I think. I mean, it's the one I would do. But you are right, it's not like they couldn't go and Quake Lich 2, if they want to take the chance on that.
I mean, depending on what my magic is and stuff, sometimes I'll throw one out because it's always real nice when it lands on Lich 2.
The issue for Greg is he still needs that Bane. Like, he's gonna have to have at least the ship to finish this out. Ship is required for him because of the tiles that he's got. Like, if not for those tiles, he could technically go shipless and floaterless. But he needs the ship or the floater to be able to get around right now.
Yeah, depending on what's here, like, he'll know if it's not, like, floater.
Yeah.
Or say maybe adamant, which I don't recall seeing, like, unless it's that for the turn-in.
And that right there, folks, is why you always check that elemental tile. Because, like, just a one-off quick check, and Greg got himself a second ribbon. Opal -2. That's his second Opal -2, which is nice. I mean, it is slightly worse than a regular Opal, but still fantastic armor. So you don't really complain that much about it. And a third ribbon! Okay, so the gear is lovely here right now. Yep, and with that, as we saw on the bingo board, Caleb has lit his defeat Kraken with Brack. He has Brackened the Kraken, and that lights another square for him there. He is almost done with that row, in fact. Meanwhile, as we're about to see, Greg is here with an Ogre encounter. And as soon as I think this next spell shot comes off, there it was. And yep, finish the battle. That gives him his defeat 3 different types of ogres. So Greg is able to light that square on that column and on that row as well. He's getting a lot of progress on a lot of different stuff right here. Could be interesting to see where he decides to actually do his finishing round. That said, he doesn't have use only cursed weapons lit, so I kind of have a feeling that he's not worried about that one. So with that, we see Caleb making the walk, I guess, up to Provoca to buy some supplies to get the crown. He's going for the crown. Yeah.
I was gonna say because like when he was here before, he didn't have the money for it. But yeah,
And there's now
crown get.
Greg has marked off his use only cursed, so there's that for him. I think he didn't mark it because he didn't have any weapons equipped, so he finally equipped a weapon. So yeah, so that's that column halfway lit now. And that could be the column he's thinking about doing. Just analytically, if he finds Bane, which he needs anyway, to defeat Tiamat with Bane, he could just go talk to the 3 robots while he's there, and then that would just be easy. Like, that's not even a hard deal. Greg has a lot of options, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's in a good position for that as soon as he decides to go and get that shit. We're now on the carry floor. We're going to see where the Gregley Puff historical tour is going to take us in just a few moments.
So, if I'm remembering the flags correctly, we've looked. Okay, so this could be. We've got a few places that like this could be. Oh, hello.
Oh, lovely.
So that's a very nice find, as long as they don't do anything dumb or have anything gross.
Yeah, as long as they work out, that's everything you want it to be right there.
Followed by yet another encounter. That's not too bad.
Lovelies all around.
Both of which you've got a whole lot of people casting Ice 3 that works out well. So... Oh no, Greg still doesn't have... Okay, well at least now he knows where his boat is.
What did he pick up?
He just got the ruby.
Ugh. Well, yep, nope. Only one place for him to go, and that's going to be Garland.
Okay, Eyes was lit too. Okay, that was a little less good.
Okay, so he's not going to follow it up further, but... Still... That was a nice chunk of levels right there with very little effort. And now he's going to be trying to confuse Carrie. Let's see if he pulls this off.
I mean, you're already here, you might as well.
Yeah, no. The fastest way to exit out, too. Plus a chunk of levels again. That's what we're talking about. So getting some attacks going. Ice 3. Ice 3. Ice 3. And a punch. And go again. Switching over to lightning and for some of these. And continuing onwards as Carrie punches again. Still racking up some chip damage. Because he does have to get out of this fight after he successfully confuses Carrie. But Carrie is not having any of it. Shakes off the second of the confuse attempts. Gonna wait this time. Third, unsuccessful. And now that Black Mage is actually hurt because Carrie has decided to punch him twice. Which is just rude. Oh, and sleep. Of course. Why wouldn't she sleep? Gonna try healing now. Yeah, keep that Black Mage on their feet while they're trying to get their confuse off, which should be a lot easier to cast than this is. But Carrie is just being resistant. Oh God! Well, he's not going for that square then. I just think that's just what that is. Because the game knew what he wanted and wasn't having any of it.
Yeah, that feels about right.
Yeah. It's like, it's a 12% chance for her to hit there, and for her to do it 3 times in a row, no, that could never happen. That's what the game did. Just rude. So this is a problem.
So, of course, the black mage goes to cast Nuke, and Kiri's just like, not today.
Not today, sucker! This is a real issue. Okay, so... that sucked. Greg just lost a lot of levels and a lot of time right there.
Yeah, and like he has to go back, he has to go get his like where he lost. Yeah, that feels bad.
That feels really bad. I hope he remembers either saved the ribbons that he got or remembers to go back and get them, because there were 2 ribbons on that floor, and I'm not certain he still has them. Meanwhile, Caleb is over here at Ordeals, doing Ordeals things. That's the kind of carry fight that kind of tilts you a little, you know?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that sucks. Caleb lost in the maze here as this Ordeals just sends him spinning. Greg coming back over for some more of these eyes. Okay, chat thinks that he saved after leaving to go get those ribbons saved up, so that's a good thing. That's real nice. Taking on these manticores.
While Caleb gets through Ordeals.
We'll find out what's incentivized over there in just a little bit. So, if you're Greg and you had that happen to you, do you bother going and trying to fight Carrie again?
If I really need that tile lit, probably.
But it's not blackout bingo.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't mean to talk over you there.
Okay, so we have the bottle and Ordeals. So Caleb's got the bottle that he can't turn in. Greg's got the slab that he can't turn in.
And the ruby he can't turn in.
Yep. Feels great.
Feels so good. So, Greg going for a second attempt. It's a bold move, Cotton. Putting Wizard Stick on the Red Mage this time, because the Red Mage had the armor to help, and the ruses to be able to support this. Sleep, ineffective for all but 1. And yeah, basically, Greg is doing exactly what Sir Lincoln guessed would happen, rusing up and then going to use the Wizard Stick off of the White Mage, so that no matter what, don't have to worry too much about it. He is casting a whole bunch of damaging spells this time, though. But we know that Carrie had a decent amount of health, so this is probably not the worst idea. Now he's going for those Wizard Sticks. Ineffective. Wait, cast, wait, wait. Ineffective. Rude. Wait, cast, wait, wait. Dark cast. Ooh, scary. Confused. Successfully confused. Now all he has to do is survive this battle.
Nicely done.
Nicely done indeed. Gonna start chipping away once again while Carrie is gonna punch herself because she's confused. Got a good chunk of change off of that nuke cast right there. Oh, no, Carrie unconfused, because Carrie is nothing but rude this time around. Game. Really. Continuing to chip away, while Carrie does likewise. And she's down. Guardian Marcus in chat asking if he successfully confused Carrie, but then died out of the battle, would that not count? And I believe by the rules of the tournament it wouldn't, because anytime it's a battle-based thing, you have to survive the battle. So it's like, kill 3 different ogres, the kills don't count until you actually finish the tile.
Okay, so the robot had the tail, which means Caleb. So we've done ordeals, we've done ordeals, we've done waterfall, which means Caleb's gonna need that ruby because our floater is either Titans or Sarda.
Yeah.
So once Greg gets his boat, he's in the right direction. Now, Granted, Caleb may or may not want that tail. He's got a black belt. He may not promote. However, he did find a white shirt in there, and then if he does promote, if he had like a red mage, he could throw that. Like, there was a Vorpal +4 in there, which would be nice to have if he had somebody. So, waterfall, like, I get the play. It's not exactly what he needed, but looks like, yep, he's headed over here. He knows which direction he needs to go. That way he can find his progression.
Eventually.
And Greg's headed over to Garland.
What's more important, though, is that this indicates to essentially both players, like, more or less where the floater is going to be. And actually, Greg is going to get it without having to go through all the other rigmarole that Caleb did to figure out where the floater is. Because once you have the ship and you already have the ruby in your hand, you're right here to go turn it in.
Yeah, because, I mean, initially it felt bad that Greg didn't get his boat right away, but not getting that boat steered him in the direction of, like, where he went. So, like, doing volcano stuff or the things that are going to lead him to his floater. And unfortunately for Caleb got that boat early. So he had access to, like, leave the inner sea and could do all those other things. So he didn't do, like, the early ice, the early volcano, which is where we now know is where progression went. So Greg not doing Garland early and having that boat actually helped him get there sooner.
Well, an important note as well is that, well, it took Greg a little longer to do this, like, to get him to his boat and get this taken care of. The important distinction is to note that he has 13 squares lit to Caleb's 11. So, while it slowed him down in certain respects, what's more important is the board.
Yeah.
We're watching him punch this down.
Oh.
And that took care of that. So yeah, Garland Boxing is lit. That puts him at 14 lit. And he's got a lot of options for how he is going to finish his last row. I mean, he's going to automatically have column 3 done the second he hits level 30 on one of his characters, which he's required to do anyway. Like, yeah. I think we already know what his end game is, and it's those last 3 tiles. So, he's going to go turn this in with his ship. He's going to go turn in the ruby because he's right here. We know it's going to happen. It should directly lead him to the floater, and then that's going to clear up his issues about where he's going to find his Bane and how he does it. His big issue now is whether or not Bane is level locked, which there's a good chance it is, which means he would then need that tail, and he'll have to go through all the rigmarole that Caleb just went through.
Also finding in Melbourne our one-stop mage shop with our pro rings and gold bracelets, both there. Pro rings +1, gold bracelets were +5, so both rolled well. Those gold bracelets are real expensive, though. They were like 55,000 gold, so...
Yep. That's the thing. If you have the Opal -2, I believe that's on par-ish with the gold bracelet. So he's got 2 of them in his collection. He may only really want, like, 1 more, which the 52,000 might not be that bad for. But there's a good chance there's gonna be one just floating out there that he can just find, if that's something he cares about. There's Bane. We have Bane. So that solves, with Quake and Bane already being accessible, that solves Greg's spell problems, and he doesn't need to class change if he doesn't want to for spells.
Yeah, that finding that Bane there at slot 4 and it being to where he doesn't have to promote to get it was really good.
Everyone in chat, feel free to do your best Bane impressions.
I'm not trying to make people stop watching, so I'm gonna opt out. But everybody else feel free.
Got a mage stick, that would have been handy earlier. And the adamant. And then we're going to go see what Mr. Sarda, the kindly cave hermit who has no running water, because if you look, there's no water there at all. But I guess he does live near the ocean. I wonder what the pollution runoff like is off of Melbourne. That's a question.
So see.
Sarda has the cube, which grants Greg the rest of the access he needs to the Sky Palace. So that means that right now all he needs to do is go turn in that adamant for that airship and get himself on the way towards his last tiles. And
or double checking a thing. But I'm looking up a map, so I'll make sure I know what I'm talking about. Is Northern Docks on? Yeah, they are, because Caleb is on rec. So that adamant may not be the floater, because I believe Sky's incentivized. So,
well, wouldn't that just be rude?
I mean, the way this has gone so far.
You did roll it. Yep, Sky is incentivized. You are correct. Now it's 50-50, and if he ends up with an unincentivized, or not unincentivized, but without the floater, he will end up with the Mazumu. Which, okay. I mean, well, I guess Bottle could be... Well, we have Bottle and we have Slab. Ugh. Does this have to be the floater, though?
Oh no, the blacksmith was the Mazza, so our floaters in Sky.
Oh my god. Danny, what did you do?
I did Danny things, apparently.
You did do Danny things. Hold on. So Greg is not going to go with column 3, apparently. He has decided to equip that Mazamoon and also turn off the use only cursed weapons. So now he's going to have to figure out, like, what else he's going to do instead. He only needs to kill, like, another, like, maybe 1 or 2 worms, which he can get, like, Sky Palace area and down in Temple of Fiends, but I mean, for a row that he basically already had committed, that's a curious decision.
Yeah, well, let's see. He could be, I mean, he has that thief, what he could be doing. Okay, well, never mind. As I say, what he could be doing is just using that thief as a way of maybe not having to worry, because I don't think we've seen Black Belt yet as a class, and so we can't get to. Maybe he's just gonna level up that thief, not worry about, changing it to a Black Belt, because we haven't seen that in a town yet to where he could get to. So maybe this was his way of just not using that column, using that Maz on there to level up that thief. But he swapped it. Everyone's going down, but that red mage. So
I have let Greg know that if that was a goof and he didn't actually want to use that Mazamoon, that was an accident on his part, he can take a 2-minute penalty and just, like, eat the time so he can light his squares back up as per our rules of the tournament. So we'll see what he does in that regard. But yeah, if that was a goof, then that kind of sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but that's not like it's a huge deal. If he goes and pulls a sandwich somewhere over around, like, Temple of Fiends or Deal's area, and then if he does the worms down in Temple of Fiends, which, again, aren't going to be hard to do, he'll have that no problem, and it's not like it's going to be super stressful for him, I don't think.
Yeah, he put down that red mage, and he's grinding this red mage. So I think his plan is to leave that off, grind this red mage up, swap it to a black belt, and then he's no longer going to have that red mage, which he has marked off. So he can finish the game without the red mage, and then have a character that's going to get him through.
And, as chat points out, now that he's decided to not worry about that column, he can also use fast. So, it's kind of a win-win long-term, and his grind is going to be super easy now because of the being able to use the Mazamu. So, like, yeah, long term, it's not. I don't think it's a huge deal that this happened for him. It just, he spent a second trying to think about whether or not this was strategery the best way to do it.
Not gonna lie, I kind of like that. As soon as that red mage hit 30, he stopped for a second, clicked the button, and then just kept going.
Gotta make sure. Well, that is actually something that we require here for the tournament. So, you guys see how the board is lit up, and it's lighting up as the players play. That's because they're doing it. If you're used to bingo with other communities, you might be used to them keeping the players siloed off to themselves, isolated so they don't know where the other player is at and what the player is doing. Something that we started doing when we were running Iron Gall Bingo was that the players all decided to play together and just have that kind of meta-textual information that they can use. Just knowing what the other players are at, where they are, and using that to their advantage. That's just something that the players wanted. So because that's just kind of baked into how we play the game now for Bingo, we left that alone. Which means that they can see each other and everything else. But for the tournament, that also meant that when they finish a square, they have to immediately light it. There's no keeping things reserved from the other player. All's fair, basically. So.
Caleb, unlike Greg, he saw the eyes, he's seen the lit two, and he's like, you know what, that's fine. They can lit two walls because we'll take them anyway and do a lot of punching.
Well, I don't remember seeing it, but I'm not sure Caleb actually checked the tiles here, the spike tiles in Astos' castle. So, Greg filed this away for later, and when he saw that the eyes had those nasty spells, he's sitting there going, I don't want to dive down that far when I can just go do Astos like it's nothing. Yeah. Smart play. Greg is the master of the black belt for a reason. Would that be the master of the master, Danny?
I think just maybe.
The master, as opposed to Master Blaster from Beyond Thunderdome or Blaster Master, the video game series.
I hear master and I just immediately think Doctor Who.
That's also a good one. I like that one too. Not, although we should stay focused on this though. Who's your favorite master?
Oh, I'm terribly. I have reasons for liking different ones and things, and picking favorites are hard.
Put you on the spot. Here, while you're thinking on it, and you don't have to answer. We do have Caleb as the first to actually light a line. Caleb has finished column 3. So that puts him halfway towards. Now, bear in mind, though, as the red poker chip on the layout indicates, he needs column 1 still, and he only has 1 of the 5 lit there, so he still has a ways to go. He's got 4 that he needs to do versus Greg's 3 or so that we're thinking he's probably going to have to finish. Maybe?
Yeah.
Question mark. And one problem is, how long does it take for Greg to go in and get that rod out of Earth Cave? Or does he just say, screw it, and he decides he's going to try and quake down Lich 2?
I mean, if he's worried about time quaking Lich 2, it might seem like the better option because, you're not going out of your way for it. You gotta go that way.
Yep. I am going to just quickly double check to make sure that I am right on the tiles. And that oh, no, I lost my tile. There it is. Sorry about that. Lost the squares there for a second as I tried to look up the tiles. Quake. Okay. 1 or 2 is fine, just to confirm that for everyone. So yeah, I mean, in all honesty, Greg just needs to go to Sky Palace to deal with Tiamat. He could, in theory, like, just go take care of Sky Palace and then find Grey Worms and Lich 2 and not have to stress about it. But he is here in Onrek, and I am curious where his next play is.
Say, here in Onrek, he found the black belt.
Which is what he cared about.
Yep, and which we did need the floater for, so...
This is going to be floaterless for at least him at this point, because he's close enough now that there's absolutely no reason to stress about the floater. Greg had a red mage, yes. As people in chat are pointing out, the party requirement only matters as far as the tile is concerned for the end game. If he has 0 or 4 red mages when he defeats Chaos, he has fulfilled the requirements for that time. We do have detailed explanations of all the tiles and the specific requirements for them over on our Discord. Please come join the Discord. You can hit our community via FinalFantasyRandomizer.com, where links to the Discord and the development Discord are there. We have a Winter Dab channel set up. You can come in, you can see the brackets, you can see how things are going, and you can check out the requirements for the tiles to know all the minutiae about what happens. And Moobot has thankfully put up a link to there in the chat so that you can go easily hit it.
Yep, it's got links to the Discord and to the website.
Yep.
And between the two, you can pretty much find all the information you need.
Everything you ever wanted, and more at FinalFantasyRandomizer.com. It slices, it dices, it juliennes garland.
Not today. Today we gotta punch it.
Today it was mashed garland.
Right.
Which both of our players did do, so...
Okay, so Caleb, he's found some wood armor.
Oh, the crystal. Great, it's a quest chain to go even further. Thanks, game! Yeah, the wood armor is one of the 3 that Caleb needs. I don't remember if he's actually picked up any others along the path.
Okay, so I'm gonna ask. It says wood. Okay, armor.
Yes.
Now, can that be like there's an iron shield there?
Nope.
Will that?
It's got to be armor.
Has to be okay.
Has to be armor.
And he has to have all 3 for that. Correct?
Yep.
Okay.
They don't have to be all on the same character. They can just be sitting in various characters' inventories.
Okay, wait. We've got steel, we've got iron, we've got wood. He's
Here
got
he goes.
all 3.
He's good. He double checked it. We had a Warmac.
Yep.
We had a Warmac. Warmac gone. Wow, that happened fast.
Warmac. And I'm assuming like you just have to have them. You do not have to have them equipped. Correct?
Yep. Nope. They just have to be in your inventory. It's just a collection.
Okay. You just gotta have them there for lux. They don't have to be functional.
Yep. Now, here is the thing. Greg did kill Warmac. Greg, however, is going to have to Bane Tiamat for this tile. And if he doesn't do it, he's going to have to reset out and go again. And Bane, now, people in chat can confirm this, but Bane is like I think it's like 16% chance to hit, so hopefully he has a lot of casters of it, is what I'm saying. Yeah, as Crabcakes in chat is confirming, he has like 8 or 9 casts. It's not the Brack is a 25% chance to hit. Bane is drastically less. So if this doesn't pull off, then 3 ineffectives. Ooh, and of course, as with Carrie, deciding to back row the person that we actually need. And we haven't found a Bane Sword either, so that's 6 casts. I mean, Phoenix and Chad is right. He could do Bane against Tiamat 2. I think that's a 3% chance to hit, but that's a possibility. Last Bane cast. And... no-go. Reset. Going again. This is probably, of all of the boss tiles we have, this is probably the hardest one. Just because of the low chance to hit. I mean, Brack, which has a 25% chance to hit, we've seen go like... God, what is it? Sometimes 13, 14 casts before it finally pulls off. Bane at, I think, only 16 is going to be worse than that. Sometimes you see it, like, land immediately, but...
And other times, at some point, you just start counting out of curiosity. Like, alright, well, 3 went off, 4, 5...
Yeah.
I know we've done it where there's been a time or two on the broadcast where like that or just crack on either tier crack and just none of them land.
Yeah.
And you're like 15, 16. It's like, okay, well, this has just gotten ridiculous.
Yeah. Now, it would have been a lot easier for him had the Bane sword been available, but it wasn't. Oh, and I don't think... oh, no, I'm sorry. I'm looking at 2 different players. I got confused on who I was watching. So... oh, and as he's going for the Warmack Cat fight again, I think, because it's right there. There it is. So, yeah, the issue is specifically, just that he has to actually pull this off, and if you try and do it against Tiamat 2, then it goes from, like, what is, I think, 16% chance, 14, as Crabcakes confirms, to closer to a 1% chance. So the likelihood is that's not going to happen. Also pointing out, Greg skipped the chest in Sky, so he doesn't have the crystal anymore. Greg, I don't think, cares. He just wants to get this taken care of at this point, doesn't need the floater, doesn't care.
He forgot.
Yeah. But he is required to do this.
I'm hoping he doesn't care.
He doesn't care. He doesn't have to... he has to kill Tiamat with Bane. It is a required square for him, yes. And there was a question about whether or not Expert will help. It removes the resistance that Tiamat 2 would have. Then it would just be an MDef check, but Tiamat's MDef is also pretty high at the 2nd level, so yeah. So that's 10, 11... 12... Blizzard, please don't kill the Black Mages. 13. Greg's gonna kill us for this. You know he is. Oh! Thanks, Tiamat. 14. 15. I'm so sorry, Greg. Flip side, Caleb picked a great spot to force Greg to do.
Yeah.
I mean, as much as we're saying sorry about this, Greg could have set this tile to something Caleb would have needed to get as well. Even if we stopped them from using the same tile against each other, which is not a requirement. There's still the diagonal or the vertical he could have set this tile to as well. This is just a nasty tile. And yeah, Sir Langlot pointed out, with the percentage of chance to land, at this point, at 15 casts, one of those Banes should have landed. But, currently, don't pay attention to who's in the lead or not right here in this dungeon. There's still a lot of game left to play.
As they hold hands, walking through.
Caleb needs 3 tiles left to light. Greg needs 3 tiles left to light. They're basically tied, but the tiles they have are different and have different requirements. So we could see them get lit any way, shape, or form. Yeah, the point that Sir Lancelot is making is that if you'd held on to the Red Mage, who was level 40-ish, and let him do his main cast, he had another 9 that he could have done as well that would have potentially helped this out. Whether, like, yeah. Greg might come into chat afterwards and, like, comment upon whether or not it was a good move for him to do this or not, so we'll ask him about that at the time. But we are heading towards the end game. This is all about just lighting those last few squares left. We have the access we're going to need, and we know what's going on at this point. Caleb is going to finish up this tile soon, because all he has to do is defeat Tiamat. He doesn't have to defeat it with Bing. So, yeah.
Yeah, and with that black belt, like, he can just walk in, punch.
17.
Yeah, that black belt is 41. Like,
yeah. Here's 18 and 19. There we go. Woo! Bane, poison smoke. Woohoo!
We got there.
We got there.
But we got there.
We got there. So with that, Greg can move on. He's gonna try and pull a sandworm is what he's doing. So he can get that worm tile out of the way, and then all he has to worry about is Lich. And I think at this point, yeah, we are gonna see a Lich 2 Quake, probably. That'd be my best guess.
Caleb with the much easier fight.
Yeah, much easier.
Two punches at an oak.
Much easier. And as we can see, that will now kill 2 different worm tile, because he did the gray worms earlier. And that's going to give Greg all but 1 tile left. And we'll see what happens with this Quaking of the Dead.
It's not often you see, 2 players this close to being done and they're both still in boats.
Crabcakes in chat noting it would have been really funny if the sandworms had run away. As far as the tile is concerned, a runaway still counts as a kill. We accounted for that.
It's nice.
Caleb has frozen.
Bro.
There it goes. I was about to give it another second or two, and then I was going to, pull the reset on that. But, nope. We're all good. It's all safe. Everything's fine. Nothing to see here.
I like how they chose 2 different,
docks?
Unconventional, places to just dock and run in.
Okay, Rainy in chat asked about the eggs. That's Caleb's sprites. It's something he's chosen to be based on his niece and family in joke between them. It's actually very sweet. Greg is the first to officially enter the Temple of Fiends Revisited at essentially the 1 hour, 10 minute, 25 second mark. And he is just worried. Huh?
Oh, I was making note. He went in at 1:10:16 and Caleb went in at 1:10:22.
Okay.
Or no. Yeah.
Okay. So, and now Greg is just worried about Quaking Lich. And I'm sure chat can tell us exactly what the percentage is. I think it's slightly lower to Quake Lich 2 than it is to Quake Lich 1, but he is still susceptible to it because he's an undead, and for some reason they can be quaked by putting them back to the ground, I guess. Final Fantasy reasoning, I'm sure.
It's just anytime something in this game doesn't make sense, I'll just quote Fizz. I'll just be like, Nasir.
Nasir. I'm sure it makes sense in D&D logic.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Greg getting the lovely unrunnable Frosties.
It might make sense with D&D logic. As someone who's currently playing through a game of D&D based off the original, the Final Fantasy 1 game.
Guelph in chat asking. Oh, you're gonna say?
No, go ahead. I was like, although we are over a year in on our D&D campaign, and we're making real slow progress.
Please tell me you haven't even made it to Lich yet.
Oh no, we haven't. not even close.
It's the way of it right there. So yeah, Guelph in chat asking, what is the win requirements for this? Do they just have to finish the board, or do they need to kill Chaos? It's actually both. They need to finish their 2 lines of the board, one of which is forced on them by the other player, but then they aren't even allowed to kill Chaos until after they finish their board. So it's a 1-2 punch, so to speak, from the black belt right there. With that, Greg has successfully defeated Lich with Quake, using it on Lich 2. as had Caleb there. Caleb still needs to clear a status ailment in battle with white magic, which he can do with any of the spells he have, including Cure 4. If either of them wipe out of this dungeon, by the way, though, note, the battles that they have won still count, so that Lich remains quaked as far as the board is concerned. And yes, Greg is officially in go mode at this point. He doesn't have to worry about anything except surviving these fights. So this is dang close right here. Dang close. We want to thank everyone, by the way, for coming and watching this, our opening race of our Winter Dab Tournament for 2021. This is a great pairing right here between two of our players who actually got a bye, but decided to open up the tournament for us to give us a good experience about watching this game. And if you like what you're watching, please come to FinalFantasyRandomizer.com, where we have links to the Discord and the development Discord there, and you can follow along with the tournament as it's happening live and in person.
Yeah, this is our first match of the tournament, but officially the tournament starts Monday, and then for the next 4 weeks or so after that, we will be doing, we will have a lot of bingo races. Yep. So if you've thought this is fun and liked what you see, we'll be doing restreams and broadcasts of this, but we will also, for the ones that aren't, because not all of our races will be restreamed, we do still do a multi-stream link that can be posted in the Discord of every race, which you'll still be able to watch people race each other. It just won't be on a broadcast such as this. So if you do, you can come into the Discord, get the spectator tab, the spectator role, which gets pinged with every race, and then you get to watch all the bingo tournament you like.
So yes, we will try and get all the matches up that people want to have restreamed, but restreaming is not a requirement for all the matches here. So it's entirely player choice on the matter, but just stay tuned to the channels because we'll have plenty of races coming up for the next, as you said, like 4 weeks or so. So we're already up to Chaos because, you know, level 42 Black Belt does level 42 Black Belt things. Key punch, things die. Already getting 10 hits for 1,200 damage. I'm just throwing out some tempers and some chip damage because, you know, why not? Second punch. Up over 2,000 damage so far dealt to that Chaos. Gonna keep tempering, because why the heck not? Third punch. That's over 3,000, and that is all she wrote for Chaos, with an official racetime.gg time of 1 hour, 15 minutes, 27 seconds. That's gonna give Gregory Puff a first place win here for our opening match of the Winter Dab Tournament.
And super close too, because right as he finishes and done, Caleb pulls Chaos. This ended up being an insane
nail biter. Yeah, which is great for our opening match. And yeah, that's kind of thing. You've got to think they were both clenched up the entire way going into Topher going, they haven't finished yet. Why haven't they finished yet? What's going on? And yeah, with that punch right there. Oh, sorry.
And with that, Caleb finishes.
Mm-hmm.
With an official race time, or as Caleb and Greg call it, race town time of 1 hour, 15 minutes, and 48 seconds. Holy crap, Topher is fast when you have a black belt.
Yes, it is. Oh. Well, and we don't have the scaling turned up super high right now, in part because there's a lot that you have to do before you even get into the Temple of Feats. So, you know, it is what it is. Oh, and I need to go adjust the layout now. There we go. All right, so I have an invite out to Greg. See if he decides to come join us in chat.
Yeah, and Caleb, big GG's to Caleb, but has declined it if he's not feeling super well today. So GG's to him, and hope he feels better.
So yeah, that was a seriously fun one too. That great time right there. And what are they, 20 seconds apart? That's super close.
Just about.
Yeah.
Yeah, is real close.
Good.
What's up, party people?
Well, hello and congratulations, sir, on your win.
Yeah, that was scary. had like I I don't know how many like opportunities I gave to win to lose that. It was like let's try to lose this the best we can.
You guys immediately did different things. He went straight to Garland, you went straight to Provoca, and which kind of worked in your favor because getting the canoe, which we thought was insanely appropriate that you were doing the Gregory Puff historical tour that around the inner sea, that you got that and it just kind of directed you there to where you would get like the ruby and stuff that kind of led you that way. But Caleb, once he took a 5 after like fighting Garland for like 5 minutes, took an unfortunate wipe, got temper, got through Garland, got his boat, and then immediately headed out of the inner sea.
Yeah. The thing about bingo that's interesting is you can sort of play the meta. So I noticed that he was out of the inner sea already because he had tucked to the mermaids. So he had obviously done the Oxyale and gotten the ship. So at that point, I was like, well, the ship obviously came from Garland or the princess, and I was gonna see how long I could go without having to punch Garland down because I wanted to punch Garland. Little did I know it wouldn't have mattered anyway. But it took me like, let's see here, how many confusions did I miss? How many banes did I miss?
Oh my god, yeah.
I think what did I get him on the fourth time through?
Yeah.
I think it was a
third. Yeah, because you killed Warwick the first 2 times. Yeah. So, first match of the tournament. Like, how do you feel? Are you looking forward to what's coming up after this?
Yes, I'm looking forward to it. I'm glad I knew that taking on Caleb was going to be one of the hardest challenges I would have in this tournament. He's a really, really, really good racer that beats me about 9 out of 10 times. So the fact that I won makes me very happy to get that out of the way and not to immediately end up in the losers bracket. But those losers bracket people that end up having to take on Caleb, good luck to you because he's a fierce and great competitor, and like I said, he wins about 9 out of the 10 races we run against each other. So as far as the flags are concerned, I think that I love these flags. I think they're fun. I think that the bingo board's perfect for the flags. I like the idea of blindly picking the other person's line and then kind of figuring out what you need to do from there. But I am, like I said, I'm just glad I got through this and I'm on to round 3. And I guess I'll see whoever my opponent is once we get to round 3. I know we kind of jumped the gun by getting the only round 2 match out of the way.
The only one we could run. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's funny because you mentioned like there's the winners bracket and the losers bracket, but regardless of what bracket you're in, there's so many good runners in this tournament.
Yeah.
You don't have it easy in either of them.
No. And I'm not saying that I'm going to have it easy moving forward. I just knew I was up against stiff competition right away. So,
well, that's the thing. You got a bye, which meant that whoever you were going to face off that second week was going to be a seasoned pro in some form or another.
I may have had a good laugh at you and Caleb both last week because you kept joking around about not wanting to get each other, and then you raced in the weekly to try like improve like your bracket standings, and then the brackets came out, and then you and Caleb got each other.
Yep,
pretty much.
Oh.
That worked out just great.
So I'm sorry. You go ahead.
No. I wasn't going to say anything. I was just going to talk about the Topher run and how.
Oh, please do. Please do. I have questions.
I finally baned Tia. And then I was like, okay, well, he hasn't killed Tiamat yet, so I've still got a chance because I didn't wipe, but I had to reset out of Tia twice. And so I killed Tiamat, and I was like, all right, I'm still in this. And literally right after that, he lights up Tia 1, and I'm like, this is not good. And I was like, I need to kill a worm, or I need to go to Topher. And I'm like, I'm at Mirage. Let me see if I can find a sandworm out on the overworld. And I did, killed the sandworm. And then I was like, freaking sail south because I was not looking for the floater. The second I found the cube, I realized I was not getting the floater if the black belt was available in Onrak, which it was. So I got the black belt. I went. Now I knew I just need to Quake Lich, and I was good to go. And I was like, I cannot have the RNG I had against Carrie and against Tia. I need, this Quake to land.
Yeah. Like it's funny. Like, it's rare that you don't often see somebody finish floaterless. You don't. It's really really rare that you see both people go completely floaterless the whole seed. And it was funny because you both left the like Mirage Sky area and just trucked it south and parked it like the docks that nobody ever uses and just ran straight to Topher.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the one thing that like
Quake
limited
Lich, and then he killed Lich right after it. And I was like, he just needs something to land on him, and he needs to use that Cure 4 that I couldn't learn or whatever.
Yeah.
And and then as soon as he lit up that last bingo, I was like, oh no, because I knew he was right behind me at that point.
Yeah, it's interesting because this is like really the only way you can play this, or at least the way we play, where like you know where your opponent is
Yep.
and what they've been done and like how close they might be to you because you see what exactly it is they have lit up on their board.
Yep.
So it's an interesting play, and it definitely gives you that, oh, I need to hurry kind of feel because you see like how close they may be to finishing or how close they are to you if you're like you feel like you may be ahead or not.
Yeah.
Yeah, as I pointed out, this is the only bingo tournament that I've seen where we actually let the meta build as part of it, and it really does influence the game.
Yeah.
So yeah, we had a question in chat asking about how things were seeded. Just as a quick refresher, we used the weekly rankings from our regular races here for Final Fantasy Randomizer, and we had 22 players join the bracket, which made for a somewhat unusual setup of a bracket. So like half the players got a bye, and half of them have to face off against each other before they got a bye. Greg and Caleb, our 2 players here for the debut, technically both got a bye, but they also had the only matchup on the second week of fighting where they got to play against another person who got a bye. So that was part of the reason why we could get this one out of the way as early as we did. And yeah, like it's gonna be a good tournament. I think the number of awesome players we have, like it's gonna be tough. So who are you think is your next big competitor, Greg?
I gotta pull up the challenge real quick. Dead Pulse is one that I always think about. We're trying to find out when he's going to challenge me for my
your title
for my Iron Gall Heavy Metal Championship or whatever. So he's definitely one to watch out for. He's our most recent Duckling Derby Duckling Supreme, and he's really good. He's really really good.
Yeah,
and he's like the Ganon's Gone Wild of last spring tournament, the Jat, and Sir Link a lot of the last Duckling Derby. I mean, he's really one to watch out for. I would be up against either Zenobian or whoever wins between you and Zenobian. Dark Moon.
No, you're fine. You're fine. You said you were going to say exactly what I said at the start of this. I'm gonna have to face off against whoever wins between Zenobian and Sir Linklot, and I would 100% agree with you. So don't even.
So actually, I don't have it easy in any stretch of the imagination because I just mentioned Sir Linkalot's name, and while Zenobian doesn't play very often, he's one of the people that put this tournament together, and he is a top 4 runner of the last spring tournament, so he is really good as well.
Yeah.
Round 3 is going to be as tough as the match I just had with Caleb.
If somehow you do end up facing off against me, I'm putting my odds on you because every time we've raced together, you have like crushed me. So,
well, Sir Linkalot is the number 1 seed right now.
Yeah.
So that's going to be
tells you a lot.
Be tough.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then if I can somehow manage to make it through all of that, I've got all kinds of people like Fry Teeth, who's really awesome. Competed in the Duckling Derby, came in 3rd. Demon Frog, who's really awesome. Davis, Dwight. I mean, like everyone's like, it's gonna be a tough competition for sure.
Yeah, it really is.
I think what
I was looking at it and I was just like, oh, yeah. These like in the way like the matchups work, like there's gonna be some insanely good races over the next few weeks.
Yeah. This tournament is stacked, as Chanagan in chat notes, but I think it's also going to serve as a really interesting preview for spring tournament to come. I mean, the play style's a little different, but we're going to see a lot of the same players between them, and we'll see pretty quick who are some of the players to watch come spring tournament.
It'll be the first time that we've seen some of our newer players take on some of our veteran players in this tournament. So, like you say, it'll be kind of like a preview of a little bit of what spring tournament could look like, which I'm no, I can't predict the future, but I'm telling you now, I see a lot of ducks whooping up on a bunch of bets. So, but yeah, I'm looking forward to the next few weeks. Like I said, I personally I've never played bingo. I might have to give it a roll one of these days, but I love watching it. I think it's a really fun, interesting twist and just a way to play the game. And I look like it's going to be a lot of fun matches to watch over the next few weeks.
All right, well, let's start racking up our final thoughts here and get this wrapped up. Greg, our first winner of the tournament so far. Any final thoughts from you, sir?
No, I just appreciate you and Zenobian and Sir Lank a lot for putting the winter double anti-bingo tournament together. Like I said, the flags are great. The bingo board's fantastic with the flags. It's like the perfect mixture, and it's just fun, and you can do all kinds of cool stuff. And I thank RPG Limit Break for obviously hosting the match, and you guys for doing the comms and the restreams and the tracking, and everyone in chat for watching it. Obviously join the Discord if you want to. And you can find out all about the Final Fantasy Randomizer, or you could just go to the website, FinalFantasyRandomizer.com. But yeah, that's all I got. See you guys.
I'm sorry, you go ahead. Oh, you bailed. Okay, yep, no, that's fine. I was going to say, we're all very good about promoting the website as often as we can.
Yeah. Although, something else I will promote, we have a couple of things coming up over just the next couple of days. Tonight at 9 p.m. Eastern, over on Speed Gaming 3, is our Duckling Supreme Battle Royale.
Oh, that's going to be a good one.
Every person who wins our Duckling Derby is our Duckling Supreme. And typically, after we have a Duck Derby, the previous winner, the one before, will take on the newest Duck Derby, and just a fun race, just because
just for bragging rights.
It's like it's kind of like the passing of the torch.
Yeah.
Well, with this Duck Derby, we have now 4. We have 3 previous that are current Duckling. So instead of doing a 1v1, we are busting out all the previous Duckling Supremes with our new win, which is Gouda, Groggy Dog, Sir Lankalot, and Dead Pulse, and they're battling it out tonight at 9 p.m. It's going to be a lot of fun. I think it's going to be a great race. So everybody should tune in, check that out. We have our Hardcore's race, our Iron Girl Hardcore tomorrow at 10 p.m. It doesn't typically get a race stream, but there is always a multi-link in the Discord for that. And yeah, starting Monday, we will be doing lots and lots of bingo races.
Lots of it. Yep.
Yeah, so again, if you like the races and you want to watch, you can join the Discord, get that fancy spectator role, and I promise to ping you every time I post about a race. And I'll never miss one.
I do have to wonder if when we have 4 of our Duckling Supremes race off against each other, does that mean that we actually have to crown a Duckling Belgrande? No?
I don't know if we have to, but now I kind of want to.
There we go. Yeah. All right. Yeah. With that, though, we are going to wrap up this inaugural match for our Winter Dab 2021 tournament. Thank you guys for watching. This has been a presentation of Final Fantasy Randomizer. Appreciate RPG Limit Break for hosting us on this actually kind of an impromptu little reveal stream that we pulled together just a couple days ago for this. If you like what you watch, of course, as we've noted a couple times repeatedly here on the stream, feel free to come join us at FinalFantasyRandomizer.com, where you can find links to the Discord and Development Discord. We are a very welcoming community. Got a lot of great stuff coming up for you. Winter Dab now, Spring Tournament after, Duck Derby beyond that, and then Co-op and Fall League and more Winter Dab come this time next year. We just have a packed schedule. That's what we do. We just love running events.
It's all the FFR you could ever want. All the time.
Why go watch anything else when you could, watch a Final Fantasy Randomizer?
I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I actually don't. I got that Twitch email at the end of the year telling me how much I've watched of different streams.
Yeah.
I was both saddened and impressed by how much FFR I watched last year. Great.
But yes, with that, we're going to wrap things up. I want to thank my co-host, Danny3883, for joining me in the booth. Thank Gregory Puff and Caleb for letting us stream their first match they needed to squeak in before, they both had to go off and do stuff next week and couldn't get their match in when they really wanted to. So I appreciate them letting us do that. For myself and Danny in the booth, I want to thank you guys for watching. Thank RPG Limit Break for hosting us. And thank everyone out there for being a part of the Final Fantasy Randomizer community. And come tonight over on Speed Gaming 3 with the Duckling Supreme match off. We will see you next time.